I'm going to show you how I replace the grooved idler pulley on the serpentine belt. The idler pulley is actually bolted on to the alternator bracket. Coolant overflow is going to come off, serpentine belt's going to come off, and the alternator and alternator bracket is going to come off. Hopefully alternator and alternator bracket come off together. If they don't, I'll have to take the alternator off separately. I have the AC compressor right here. The tensioner pulley is one up from that. I'm just gonna pull that down. It's kind of tricky to get in here, and it's better if you can get a breaker bar on this. I don't have one that fits right now, and I know I can get it off with just a wrench. So I'm gonna pull the belt off the main crankshaft because I don't have someone to pull a belt off the top. I did have to take the alternator out. You don't need to unhook the cables. You can kind of just pull it up out of the way. But I think it's actually going to be easier with the alternator out because it's only 2 bolts on the bottom, 1 bolt on the top, 2 bolts for the reservoir, 3 bolts for the alternator, and then it actually completely opens up down here. And I'll show you what I'm talking about with this one being bad. First of all, if I shake it back and forth, there's a little click. But mainly, when I spin it, you can hear this. There's nothing touching it right now. That's where my noise is coming from. I just have 3 more bolts to take out. I ended up taking this one out underneath early on, and it's kind of a bummer that I did because now it's so much easier up on top. But then there's a bolt here, 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 and then this whole plate, oh, and the top bolt here. And then this whole plate will come off, and I'll be able to get this whole pulley out and put the new one on. So a little more looking into this, and the mount for the alternator is also the engine mount. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a board on the bottom of the engine and put a floor jack underneath there. Pick up the engine just a little bit off that, and then there's just 4 bolts, 3 bolts, 1 nut. Pull those off and this last top bolt off, and then this whole piece should come right off. I got the 4 bolts off the top of the engine mount and all 5 bolts off the mount itself. And this guy just pulls right out. Just pull the bolt off this and put the new pulley on. Most pulleys are torqued, so it kind of depends on the vehicle you got on the torque specs of it. I have my new pulley on, and this is what it should sound like. Nothing. It should sound like nothing. It should be real smooth and snug on there, and just that's a good bearing right there. Everything just goes in the opposite way it was all taken out. I got a new serpentine belt to go on it as well, but pretty straightforward.